In the first episode of my championship or bust series, where I basically take a really bad NBA team and try to turn them into a champion in 5 years or less, I failed. I'm willing to admit it. The Cavaliers project was good. It wasn't great though, as we got right where we needed to be, just couldn't win the big game. But this is going to be a different one. We're playing with the New York Knicks today. This is a franchise that has so much history, so many retired jerseys, so many great players. They have been so bad for a really long time. And my first strategy right here is to cut some people that we don't basically need so that I can spend a lot of money in free agency next season. Now, Tim Hardaway Jr. has a pretty big contract, 2 years, $35 million. We're gonna get the first round draft pick from the Pelicans, who probably are about to trade Anthony Davis, for Solomon Hill. Now his contract's big, but we're gonna move him ASAP as well. For Solomon Hill, like I mentioned, we're gonna flip him immediately. We're not getting a lot in return, but we're already getting a second round draft pick a year earlier. We're losing one in 2023 and gaining one in 2022. Now, as a reminder, the goal of this series is to build up a team in 5 seasons or less and win a championship in 5 seasons or less. If I win it in the 5th season, that's a bronze. The 4th season, a silver. The 3rd season, a gold. If I don't win it at all, you know what to do. Put a potato emoji in the comments and just tell me that I failed yet again. But believe me, I am not going to fail this time. I feel better. I have a strategy. I'm not going to spoil it though, but I have a strategy this time around. So look at the mock draft, a couple of the top picks. It's the same draft class I used before. I thought it was a pretty good one. Zion, RJ Barrett, Charles Bassey, whose name isn't misspelled because there's a language filter on 2K, which won't allow his name to be spelled correctly. Kevin Porter Jr., Bol, Romeo Langford. You guys know the deal if you watch the first episode. There's a lot of good players here. I don't know who we're going to go after just yet, but I'm thinking we're going after the best player available, depending on where we get our draft pick. Now, at the halfway point of the season, Enes Kanter's on an expiring deal. I'm going to give up my 21 first-round draft pick, Enes Kanter, the Bulls' 2019 top 3 protected draft pick, and Nicholas Batum, who we're going to flip immediately. But right now, the Bulls are around 4 or 5 in terms of the worst teams in the league. If they fall around 4 or 5 or anything outside of the top 3, we're going to be golden. Now, the deal we're going to make here is for Nicholas Batum and Courtney Lee, for Ryan Anderson and Solomon Hill yet again. Again, 2 bad contracts. Ryan Anderson will expire after the season, and then Solomon Hill will be trading him again. And for what should be the final time, Solomon Hill, we're trading him and our 2019 second round pick. We already have another one for 2 second round picks from the Brooklyn Nets. Goodbye, man. Forever. The season is over and we won 21 games, which should put us again at worst in the top 3. I'm hoping for the top pick. We'll see what happens. So, Steph Curry is your MVP. Your Rookie of the Year goes to DeAnthony Melton. I was actually going to expect to see DeAndre Ayton there, but DeAnthony Melton got your Rookie of the Year. That's kind of wild. Your 6th Man of the Year is Bobby Portis. Not something I really would have expected either. Defensive Player of the Year is Giannis. I feel like he wins it every single time. Your Most Improved Player is Jordan Clarkson. And your Coach of the Year, surprise, surprise, the 68-win Warriors, coached by Steve Kerr. And then your NBA Finals champions are the Toronto Raptors. The Warriors actually had a 3-1 lead, and they blew it. That makes me happy. Kawhi Leonard proves that the trade at Toronto was a big one, and he ends up being the MVP of the NBA Finals, averaging 22 points per game, 9 rebounds. The claw is back, baby. So the biggest moment of the year for us is the NBA Draft Lottery because, yeah, Knicks fans, you're kind of used to that. We end up getting the #1 overall pick, which is huge news for us. So we get 1, Hornets get 2, Celtics get 3, Suns are 4, Jazz are 5, and then we pick again at 9. Chicago actually failed us a little bit and didn't get that top 5 pick like we wanted, but still 2 picks in the top 10. And then we also have the 23rd pick because we ended up trading with the Pelicans, who went way further in the playoffs than I actually thought they would. This is it. The NBA draft is here. I am hyped. We have the #1 overall pick, as you would expect. Okay, we got a couple of offers now for our first overall pick. Let's see what we got here. If someone wants to trade back to like 2 or 3, I might be down. The Heat want to give us Josh Richardson. Oh, Steven Adams is on the Heat now? That's kind of wild. Rudy Gobert and pick number 5. We'd have to give up our #1 pick and our 23rd pick. Nah, that's going to be a no. Gary Harris and Will Barton, no thank you. And the last pick offer is TJ Warren in the 4th overall pick. I need more from that. If they'd offer me like another first-round draft pick in the following season, probably would have done it, but you know what? I know who I got to take here. We got to go ahead and do it right now. We're going to go ahead and choose our prospect. Could take Bol. Could take RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett was actually projected to be our guy, but his outside shooting isn't good enough. The guy that's going to be a transcendent player. I need on my team. I know we have Kevin Knox. We can move him around a little bit, but we have to go here and take Zion Williamson. So with the first overall pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, Zion Williamson, welcome to New York. Now, a guy that I was looking at also getting is John Morant, but The Orlando Magic took him. That's going to be a great fit for them, but we had a big decision here now with number 9. A kid that I've been watching a lot of in real life is Bruno Fernando, and I think he'd be a good complement behind Porzingis. He had Porzingis a power forward. He put Zion Williamson a small forward. We moved down Kevin Knox to shooting guard. It's going to be a really tall and long lineup. If we couple that with Bruno Fernando at center, I think that's the way for the future. So welcome to the Big Apple, Bruno Fernando. At pick number 23 with the Pelicans draft pick, we're going to go after KZ Okpala. He's a little bit better than Alexander Walker in terms of his overall shooting, so we're going to take a gamble on him. I might regret this, but see how it pans out. With our second round draft pick, we're going to take Kobe White as the last remaining pick from this year. So a recap of this year's draft, we ended up getting Zion Williamson in 82 overall. He was the highest rated player in the draft, so I'm glad we took him. RJ Barrett went number 2 to the Hornets, a good pickup for them. Kevin Porter Jr. at 3 to the Celtics. Suns got Trey Jones. He was projected for like 12. They took him at 4. We'll see what happens now. Maybe Devin Booker can move back to shooting guard, but we'll see how that ends up playing out. Charles Bassey to the Jazz, Romeo Langford to the Nets, Bol to the Hawks. He'll be nasty now with Trae Young there. Ja Morant again went to Orlando, which I'm a little salty about. I wanted him on our team, but it is what it is. And then we got Bruno Fernando. So, I mean, overall, there were some solid picks over. I mean, Cam Reddish went to the Clippers. He'll get a lot of playing time there. I'm excited to see how it plays out, but let's see what our new young team can do here in season number 2. And in terms of team and player options, we're going to re-sign Frank. We're going to keep Damian Dotson, Ryan Anderson, goodbye, and Mr. Lance Thomas. You can also say goodbye. And the biggest thing about this free agency is we just got Kevin Durant. So we have Kevin Durant, Zion, and Kristaps Porzingis in the same lineup. Smell a championship coming. I am blown away by the fact that we got Kevin Durant. This is what I was talking about. We got a big name player to go along with our franchise. So we got Durant, we got Porzingis, we got Zion. We moved him from power forward to shooting guard, and oddly enough, his rating went up to 84 overall. If he moved him a small forward, he went to an 86, but we kind of have somebody at small forward that is better than him. We have Emmanuel Mudiay, a point guard, coming back. Kevin Knox back here, small forward. Alonzo Trier, who went up to a 76 overall. He's coming along very strongly. Okpala at shooting guard. Fernando there at center. Mitchell Robinson, Damian Dotson. We got Mr. Frank. We got Kobe. This team is still young. This team is getting better. I'm anxious to see how we do. Maybe we'll make a big trade at the deadline, but for right now, we're looking good. So in this training camp, one of the first things I want to do is give perimeter shooting to none other than Zion. I need this guy to make sure that he is balling out on the perimeter. So his 3-point needs a lot of work. It's not great, but it's okay for right now. We have Kevin Durant. And the other one I want to do is untapped potential. Again, a lot of different guys we could probably use this on, but I think I want to use it on Alonzo Trier. I think if he comes along, we'll be a better team because of that. He goes from a B to a B plus now for untapped potential. So starting out this season, we have a 10-man rotation. We'll play around with it a little bit, but overall, Mudiay at starter, point guard, Zion at shooting guard, Kevin Durant at small forward. I know I've called him a snake like 1,000 times, but I'm forgiving him for coming to New York now. Kristaps Porzingis at power forward, and then Bruno Fernando at center. I'm hoping he comes along pretty well too. And off the bench, we have Kevin Knox, we have Okpala, Alonzo Trier, Damian Dotson, Mitchell Robinson, and then basically not even playing right now will be Frank, Kobe White, and then we have West and Payne. But I think we might give either Frank or Kobe White a little bit of minutes here and there, but for right now, that's what we're going to run with. Season number 2 is now under wraps, and we did a lot better this year. We were 48 and 34. Still not where I want to be, but we've got some young players, so it is what it is. Now, Steph Curry lost Kevin Durant, but he gained a whole lot of points per game. 34.4 points per game, 6 assists, 4.5 rebounds. I mean, he had a monster year. The Rookie of the Year goes to Ja Morant. Again, I can't help but feel like we missed out by 1 pick. We missed out on a big guy. 6th Man of the Year goes to Ricky Rubio playing for the Warriors. We got a new snake now. Defensive Player of the Year goes again to Giannis, who averaged a double-double the entire season. Most Improved Player goes to our Kevin Knox. That is a big pick there. Thank you, Kevin Knox, for balling out, taking that role off the bench. What a nice guy. Then your Coach of the Year goes to Mike D'Antoni, 61 and 21 for the Houston Rockets. And we've made it to the NBA playoffs, and I'm excited to see how this basically goes down. So we're going to simulate the entire playoffs and just see what we actually end up doing. So we play Orlando, which again has Ja Morant. They're up 2-1. They're up 3-1. 3-2? 3-3? Oh, they better blow a 3-1 lead? We got eliminated. So the good news is we made it to the playoffs. The bad news is we got eliminated in the first round, 4-3. The Toronto Raptors repeat as NBA champions again. This time they played the Portland Trailblazers, though. Kawhi gets 23 per game, even more than he had last season. dude is a stud. What can I say? He's loving Toronto. So the NBA draft lottery is done now that we're in the off season, and you see the Mavs get the first pick, the Heat with the second, the Jazz with the third, and we are going to be picking, I have no idea, 23, which is what we did last year when we had Pelicans pick. So I doubt we get into the top area of the draft, but it should be an interesting one. So in the NBA draft, we have pick number 23. A couple of guys I'm kind of debating on. We look at Emmanuel Quickly, Moses Brown, but we have I think our center of the future, Fernando. So I'm thinking where I'm actually going to go. A dude that I just love watching play is Nico Mannion. He's listed as a 77 overall if our scout is correct. And if I went down here to look at his potential, he's an A- potential. Can play shooting guard, play point guard. I got to go ahead and take a risk on him and just make him a New York Knick. So here's how the 2020 NBA draft basically shook down. You got Anthony Edwards going number 1 to the Dallas Mavericks. Should be a pretty good pairing over there with Luka and with Dennis Smith Jr. You got LaMelo Ball going to the Miami Heat. Probably the wrong city for him, but you should have fun there. Khalil Whitney goes to the Jazz. Jaden McDaniels goes to the Grizzlies. Cavs get Vernon Carey. That is a monster pickup for them, especially with Kevin Love probably being done very soon. The Jazz get Isaiah Stewart. Cole Anthony, the kid that I wish we could have gotten, goes to the Pelicans now. If Anthony Davis is still there, that's a heck of a pickup. Jalen LeCue ends up going to the Suns. James Wiseman to the Lakers. Scotty Lewis. And I'll kind of just go through here. Isaiah Mobley ended up going here to the Suns as well. I mean, the Suns got a lot of really good picks. Josh Green to the Thunder's a great pickup too. So many good players, and we just couldn't get the guys that we ultimately wanted. But Nico Mannion to 23 is pretty good value. And we also have a couple of player and team options we can basically look at, or actually they're all team options, but we're going to keep Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, Frank, and Kobe White. All these guys are pretty integral to our team, so we need to make sure we keep them. Now, one thing I'm looking at is making a big trade here because I need a point guard of the future. We're going to lose Emmanuel Mudiay. He wants way too much money. Frank hasn't really progressed the way that I wanted to, and I think we're going to go after Gilgeous-Alexander. The kid was a beast in college. I like what he's done so far for the Clippers. We're going to take on Lou Williams as well, who should be a good guy off the bench. He's older, but it is what it is. I have to give up Nico Mannion for this trade because if I don't want to give up him, I got to give up Kristaps, and that's a no-no for me. So I'm going to give up Frank. I'm going to give up Nico for hopefully our point guard of the future to help get this team to that championship. Now, heading into our third season, here's what we're basically looking at. Porzingis is up to a 91. Zion's up to an 87. The dude is beasting it right now. He's been playing pretty well as shooting guard. His three-point rating's up to a B- now, which is good. If we get him in that B range, we'll be fine. Kevin Knox is up to an 82. Shai's up to an 82 as well. He went up 3 points this offseason, which again is great news because we just traded for him. Bruno went up 4 points to an 80 overall. Mitchell Robinson's up 3 points. Akpala's up 2. Kobe White's up 3. I mean, we've made some really good decisions. Lou Williams went down 5. He's old. I get it. We're probably going to move him here in a second. But overall, solid growth for our roster. Coming into this offseason, we got some things to do in training camps. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go right back to perimeter shooting, and we're going right back to Zion. He went to a B-. That should get him closer to that B rating. He's still mostly hot garbage, but if he can knock down a couple of threes, that'll help space things out for Kevin Durant. And the other big one I'm going to do is big man defense. I'm going to go ahead and put that on Bruno because I need him to be a big stopper in the middle so that things can be a lot easier on us for the rest of the team. So his blocks up to an 82, shot contest an 83, and defensive consistency at 92. He's going to be a force in the middle. Now, this is the big one. If we win in Season 3, we get a gold rating. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but I need it to happen. So we have Kevin Durant, Porzingis, Zion, Kevin Knox, Shai. I mean, our top 5 to 6 people are incredible, especially when you factor in Bruno. All those guys are above 80 overall. And you got Mitchell Robinson, Akpala, Kobe White. Those guys are all good. Then it gets a little hairy from here. You got Dellavedova, you have Evan Turner, Zminskis, and then we have Adrian Payne with Lou Williams, who's just rotting at the bottom of our lineup. Now, the Kings hit me up for a crazy trade. They wanted Kevin Knox, but I didn't want to get rid of him, but they wanted to give me De'Aaron Fox. So I was like, you know what? Let's work something out financially. So we're going to get De'Aaron Fox. We're going to give up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's been good for us. We're 34-14 this season, which is great. But I don't want to be great. I want to be amazing. I want to win an NBA championship. This is a gamble. I could regret it. We're giving up a lot of draft picks. But honestly, I am all in on trying to win a title for the New York Knicks. So De'Aaron Fox, welcome to New York. Now, the second half of the season was kind of rough. It took us a while to get our team chemistry back up, but we did win one more game this season than we won last season. That being said, I'm a little nervous now because I don't know if De'Aaron Fox is really integrated into the lineup the way that I kind of hoped he would. But anyways, LeBron James is your MVP this season. The Rookie of the Year is Jaden McDaniels out of the Grizzlies. You get Marcus Howard, your 6th Man of the Year for the Golden State Warriors, the Rich. just keep on getting richer. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Anthony Davis. Giannis finally didn't win it this season in year 3. Michael Porter Jr. gets your Most Improved Player, seems to be finally healthy. And your Coach of the Year goes to Nick Nurse of the Toronto Raptors. I mean, that team has just been dominant so far. They've won both titles. The playoffs are here. We're here again with the 4 seed. We're facing the 5 seed. Feel familiar. We're also facing the Brooklyn Nets again. I'm going to just simulate one round and see how we do. Silent lead 2-0. 2-1. Oh God, 2-2. Okay, 3-2. Don't blow the lead. We advanced. Okay, we advanced. That's good. So it's the Lakers, the Rockets, OKC, Golden State. And then on the east side, it's Toronto, who are the back-to-back defending champions, Miami, and Boston. They still have LaMelo Ball, but I think he's actually injured in Miami. So let's simulate this round and see what happens. If we beat them, that is unreal. Okay, tied it up. 1-1, 2-1. Okay, 3-1. Don't blow the lead. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go. Okay, we're facing Boston, which is a 3 seed. So we upset the back-to-back champions. I don't know who's playing well, but I'm hoping it's everybody. So Golden State versus Houston, Boston versus New York. One round at a time. Oh my God, we got it. Okay, it's tied up. This is not good. This is trending the wrong way. We've been eliminated again. So the Warriors had a 2-0 lead. They ended up blowing it, and the Celtics ended up beating them in the NBA Finals. The Finals MVP is none other than Kyrie Irving, who hasn't left Boston, oddly enough. So he gets 29 points per game, 6 assists per game. And Boston finally beats the Warriors. Kind of incredible. Now that we're in the offseason, the draft lottery's here, and the Mavericks, didn't they have the first overall pick last year? Well, they got it again. So it's the Mavericks, the Suns, the Cavs, and then I don't think we actually have a draft pick this year. So we're going to sim the draft and then show you guys the results. So this year's NBA draft goes as following. Jalen Green goes to the Mavs. EJ Boston goes to the Suns. KJ Martin ends up going to the Cavaliers. So they're building a pretty solid team with RJ Hampton to the Pelicans. That team's going to be really nasty. They have Cole Anthony, so they're going to be really nasty. Greg Brown, you see Cunningham, Isaiah Todd to the Clippers. They got a couple of good players. I think they already have Cam Reddish too, so him plus Reddish will be really fun. Kyrie Walker goes to the Hornets. Evan Mobley goes to the Magic. Again, they're building up a pretty good team. No huge real names after that. A lot of guys we don't really know how they're going to pan out overall, but Scottie Pippen Jr. goes to the Bulls. That's kind of crazy, right? Goes to play where his father ultimately played. And then here's the ultimate look at the first round. PJ Fuller is your final pick. Let's see how our team does in season number 4. So we didn't actually have a ton of money to spend in free agency, so all we made sure that we did was re-sign De'Aaron Fox. So here's a look at the roster. Kevin Durant's a 96 overall, down 1 point roughly or so. Porzingis is a 91. Zion is a 90 overall now. Technically a 91, that is showing like right above my head. De'Aaron Fox is an 88. Look at this. We have 3 guys over 90. We have a guy at 88 who's almost a 90. Probably by the end of the season will be a 90. We have an 84 in Knox. We got an 83 in Fernando. We got Okpala's almost an 80. This team is legit. We have a good roster. We got to get rid of Lou Williams though, but this is a good roster so far. This year in training camp, we're going to focus a little bit more on De'Aaron Fox. I want to make sure that he improves a little bit more. Now he's got that big contract. So we're going to go ahead and send him to training camp for his passing. He's pretty good overall there. Ball control's a 97. We should have no issues with him whatsoever. And similar to last season too, we're going big man defense on our boy Bruno Fernando. He's been progressing well. I want him to keep moving up there. Almost a 90 overall for his block. So here's a look at our roster going into this season. You have De'Aaron Fox at point guard, Zion at shooting guard, Kevin Durant at small forward, Porzingis at power forward, Fernando is an 84 overall now with center. And we have Knox as our 6th man, Kobe White off the bench as a point guard, Okpala, who's done way better than I thought he would do so far, as our shooting guard at 80, Mitchell Robinson, Trevor Booker, Tony Snell, we have Robbie Nicholson, Trey Burke came back, and Lou Williams is rotting at the end of our bench again for a second season. At the end of season 4, we continue our trend of basically winning one more game than the previous year. We kind of tanked in the last part of the year, which is what it is, but 49 wins, 33 losses. Giannis gets his first MVP finally, 27, 9, and 5. One heck of a stat sheet. The Rookie of the Year goes to Isaiah Todd of the LA Clippers. Again, him plus Cam Reddish, a dangerous combo. Move on to the 6th Man of the Year. You get D'Angelo Russell. Your Defensive Player of the Year is going to be Anthony Davis. And your Most Improved Player goes to LaMelo Ball, who was injured a lot of last season, so that probably factored in, but he's still dropping 20 points per game. Your Coach of the Year goes to Matthew O'Brien of the Houston Rockets. So the playoffs are here. We're going to do what we did last time. We're going to sim round by round. We're the number 2 seed, which is good, facing Philadelphia 76ers. Brooklyn's your number 1 seed. We're going to simulate the current round to see how we do. Oh my God, you're kidding me. No, don't do this. This is our best season ever. Come on, fight back, fight back. Okay, 2-2. No. Okay. How? So your NBA champions are the Houston Rockets. They are the coach of the year, and now they get an NBA title as well. Your MVP is the man that broke my ankles, James Harden. 23 points per game, 11 assists per game. Dude deserves it, man. Congrats to James Harden and the Rockets, but we're entering the 5th and final season, and we still haven't made it past the Eastern Conference Finals. So the draft lottery comes up. The Trailblazers are 1, the Pistons are 2, and the Spurs are your 3rd team, and we are 25. No one cares. This draft class was a stacked one, and there were a lot of big names, but Terrence Clark goes number 1. Pistons get Zion Harmon. The intriguing thing is Zaire Wade, Dwayne Wade's son, goes to the Grizzlies, and Julian Newman is listed at 5'11". I doubt he ever grows to be that tall, but he ends up going to the Hornets, and he's an 80 overall too. And this season, we have a couple of player options or team options we can actually sign. Zion, of course, Bruno Fernando, of course, and Mr. Akpala, absolutely too. Player progression is the biggest thing for us each and every offseason. So Durant's up to a 97 overall, Zion's up to a 93, Porzingis at a 91, Aaron Fox is about an 89 or 90. I mean, we have so many talented players there in our top 4, it is unreal. Bruno's up to an 86, you got Kevin Knox here at an 85. I mean, look at how talented this team is top to bottom. If we don't win an NBA championship in the 5th and final season, my neck is on the line. I need this. And in this year's training camp, we're going right back to the perimeter shooting for Zion Williamson. I need him to hit a clutch 3 to win an NBA title. That's what I'm banking on right now. So we go there for him. We're going back to big man defense again for Bruno. Those are the major things that I want to make sure we have. And if we have those, we should be fine. This man's a 99 for shot contest and defensive consistency with a 95 shot block. Yeah, he's a threat in the middle. Here we are, the 5th and final season to try to win an NBA title for the New York Knicks. I feel like it's impossible at this point. Like, look at this team. 90 overall point guard, 95 overall shooting guard, 97 overall small forward, 92 overall power forward, 87 overall center. The bench is good too. Kevin Knox at 85, Kobe White in 84, Akpala in 81, Mitchell Robinson in 80. We're 9 deep, 80 overall or better. Where else can you find that? We got Eric Griffin, 77 overall. Doug McDermott there is somehow going to be on our team at 76 overall. We have Robbie Nicholson still here, 76. I mean, Lou Williams is still rotting on the bench, but this team is so good. You have to win a title this year. I'm guaranteeing a title this year. This season feels different for the Knicks. It's the 5th and final season of this challenge. We're 52-30. It's our best record so far in this 5-year stretch. I'm ready for the playoffs. This team has got a team chemistry at 93. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm feeling good. Now, Giannis wins your MVP again. You get Rookie of the Year in Cam Fletcher of the Wizards. 6th Man of the Year goes to Jackson Hayes of the Pacers. Defensive Player of the Year is once again, I'm pretty sure that Anthony Davis or Giannis have won it every single season so far. Most Improved Player is Vernon Carey. I mean, heck of a season for him, 20 and 10 with almost 3 assists a game. Coach of the Year goes to Terrence Brooks of the Phoenix Suns. Interesting, they're almost a 60-win team. And I'm ready for the playoffs now. You're the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. We're gonna go round by round. We get eliminated in the first round by the Wizards. I'm fighting somebody. What? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to front. The fact that the Wizards won 2 games is alarming. Now the Brooklyn Nets. This is a team we need to beat. So it's us versus Brooklyn, Cleveland versus Milwaukee, Utah versus the Lakers, and Phoenix versus New Orleans. The Warriors didn't make the playoffs. That's what I'm calling out right now. Okay. Round by round. Here we go again. No. No. Yes. 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 No. I'm guaranteeing a title this year. I hate everything. So your NBA Finals ends up being the Phoenix Suns versus the Brooklyn Nets. And Brooklyn took us out of the playoffs and they won the title. So it's a little bittersweet or whatever at that point, but I don't know what else we could have done. We tried so hard, but in the end, nothing really mattered. If you're wondering who the Finals MVP was, it was Cade Cunningham of the Brooklyn Nets. But more importantly, if you guys want to see more of this series and watch me struggle and just try to win one NBA championship with any of these terrible teams, feel free to leave a like in this video. Feel free to subscribe as well if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Championship or Bust, where I try to become a decent NBA GM. So far, I'm terrible.